NCASC22 here in Manchester. I'm with Deborah Fox, who's the head of Homeshare UK. And one of the reasons we're at the conference today is to launch our new toolkit for growing Homeshare, a practical guide for commissioners sharing homes and sharing lives. So, Debs, I was just going to ask you, for those that don't know what Homeshare is, can you just tell us a little bit more about it?
Yeah, it's a really simple concept. Homeshare brings together two people to mutual benefit, and usually that's an older person who is finding that they're needing a little bit of support around the home to continue living there, with somebody that needs affordable accommodation.
Great, and we know that it tends to solve certain problems that society is facing. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, absolutely. It's Homeshare's solving some of the key society problems, so issues around social care. We know there's a crisis in social care. Issues around affordable accommodation for young people, but more importantly, it's solving issues around isolation and loneliness. We know currently that there are 1.4 million older people that report to be isolated and lonely, but equally we know that similar numbers of younger people are also reporting isolation and loneliness.
Absolutely, and it is obviously dealing with all those issues. And also, we know that unlike shared lives, for example, Homeshare isn't a regulated service, but can you tell us a bit about our own regulatory framework for that?
Yeah, Homeshare isn't CQC registered, but we have developed our own quality assurance framework and safeguarding framework that aligns itself with CQC. So safeguarding is paramount of importance to all Homeshare organisations and to us as the national body.
And it's important to say that, you know, even people in a Homeshare arrangement, they may still have social care needs and be receiving support as part of that outside of the Homeshare arrangement. That's right, isn't it?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Homeshare sits very comfortably along with regulated care, so quite a lot of our older people have a package of care coming in to help them get dressed, take medication, etc. And the home sharer is purely there to provide companionship and to do those other tasks like helping with meals.
And what's the home share landscape now in the UK, Deb? Numbers-wise, where are we at?
Well, it's still very small. There are currently 23 home share providers across the UK. They're mostly London-centric, so 10 of those are within the M25 area. Last year, home share organisations provided support for just over 1,000 people. But again, 75% of those were inside the M25 area.
Yeah, it seems London appears to be ahead of the game as far as home share is concerned. Why do you think that is?
I think like most innovation, it starts in London and then spreads out. It's one of the things that we're looking to rectify over the next few years.
So in terms of growth and expansion, which you just mentioned there, what's our current position now within Shared Lives Plus and Homeshare UK? Because we are looking at growing and expanding a lot.
Yeah, it's a really exciting time for Homeshare. We've just secured a grant for the next 5 years to rapidly expand Homeshare throughout the UK. We're starting to do that by launching our own direct delivery. So we've launched 2 Homeshare programs in the north of England, one in the northeast and one in the northwest. And we're looking to launch 40 franchising businesses across the UK over the next 5 years.
Fantastic. And so just talking then briefly about other services that we offer through Shared Lives Plus, because in terms of growing and expanding Homeshare, we do obviously have a consultancy offer where we can help organisations and local authorities to look at options. Is that right?
No, absolutely, yeah. We can do the underpinning work to see if Homeshare would actually fit comfortably within your geographical area. So our feasibility work
what does that involve?
It would look at the demographics to see if the location has got the right mix of people, the right type of housing, the right kind of employers that would attract sharers in. We would consult with key stakeholder groups within the area, so local authority, other service delivery organisations, and younger and older people themselves, just to ascertain if Homeshare would be the right fit for that area.
Brilliant. And that all goes into a sort of report element that gets presented back, which is, I know, really useful. And finally, Deb, I just wanted to ask, because we've talked a lot about the service itself, but what about the people within it? Have we got any really good case studies that we can talk about when we're talking about Homeshare?
Yeah, I mean, there's lots. There are as many good case studies as there are people using Homeshare, but one that kind of really comes to mind is Doreen and Anoop from Manchester. And Doreen had been in hospital. She'd had a fall, but she hadn't been able to go back into her own home, so she'd been moved into local authority care, but desperately wanted to get back. So 3 months later, they started, somebody within the home had actually heard about Homeshare and started to work with the Homeshare organisation to find a Homesharer so that Doreen could eventually get back home. And that worked brilliantly. Doreen went on to have 3 different Homesharers, all foreign nationals that had come to the UK to learn English, so it worked well for both sides, really.
Fantastic. And we know that telling those stories to commissioners, to local authorities is definitely the best way of getting that message out there. Deb, thanks very much for your time today. So obviously this is what we're launching today. It will be available on our website, so if you search Homeshare UK, it'll be available there. And obviously for anyone interested in our consultancy service, do get in touch with us, consultancy@sharedlivesplus.org.uk.